So today's video is yoga for runners. So this is a really quick yoga flow that you can do post-run or as active rest day recovery. It's really going to be looking at the lower body, so the hips, the hamstrings, the glutes, the calves, so areas that really get tight when you do a lot of running. So for today's flow, you're going to want a strap if you have one. If you don't, then a dressing gown belt, a pair of tights, or even a tie will work. So straps or props just add a little bit of help. So today we're just going to add a little bit of length by using a strap. If you don't have one or you can't get anything, then don't worry. So today we're just going to start in a nice folded position. So really softening down into the knees, lengthening through the spine, taking the hands down to the floor if you can. So soften the knees, deep bend as much as you need to. So really starting by releasing off the hamstrings. Just start to connect with the breath. Just put some movement in the body. So maybe just rocking from side to side on the feet, or forwards and backwards. Just whatever feels good for the hamstrings here. You can shift the weight between the heels and the toes. And then just find your ragdoll. Just for a moment, take hold of either elbow and just start to sway the body from side to side. So twisting into the hips. Again, really lengthening in to the upper body. Taking one more breath. And then grounding the hands down, about shoulder width apart. So we're going to step back into our downward dog. So start off with a really nice, gentle downward dog. Maybe taking the feet just slightly wider than hip width. And then just pedaling the knees. For the first downward dog of the day, it's sometimes nice just to take a little bit of pressure off the hamstrings by widening the feet a little bit. So really lengthening through the hips, stretching into the arms and the upper body. So just any movement into the hips that feels good, maybe swaying from side to side. Then just finding some stillness here for 2 breaths. So inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Just coming down onto the knees here. We're going to start to stretch off the front of the feet. So just either letting the knees stay at hip width apart or just moving them a little bit closer. And then sinking the seat down towards the heels. From here, we're going to stretch into the front of the feet and into the shins. So this is an area that some runners really struggle with. So just taking the hands, just walking them back very slightly. Seeing if you can place the hands down on the floor. And then gently start to lift the knees. Maybe walking the hands back a little bit further. So just taking those knees as high as you can. If they don't come very far off the floor, that's absolutely fine. Just coming back until you feel a stretch in the fronts of the feet and into those shins. Trying not to bunch the shoulders up by the ears, but relaxing. Breathing here. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Gently walking the hands in and lowering those knees back down. Coming into your tabletop and making your way into a low lunge. So stepping the right foot between the hands. Just letting this back knee go out as far as is comfortable. So starting off just in our runner's lunge with the fingertips by the side. So stretching into the hip flexors here and the hamstrings. Making sure this right knee is stacked over the ankle. Keeping the chest lifted. Taking a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Take one more breath. As we exhale, we're going to bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Pick up the left hand and see if we can reach back to that left foot. And just start to gently guide that left heel in towards the body, stretching out the front of the left quad. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Take that right hand back to the outside of the right foot and just coming back into our downward dog. Again, keeping it nice and soft, keeping it moving if you need to. From here, just working forward into our pigeon pose. So take an inhale and float the right leg up. As you exhale, bring the right toes towards the left wrist, knee towards the right wrist. Just settling down here. This is the point, if the right hip doesn't reach down to the floor, then you might want to take a block, a cushion or a prop and just place it under, trying to keep the hips as square as you can. And then maybe coming down onto the forearms, if that feels good. Breathing here, noticing if any tension comes into the body, and just trying to release and relax. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Back up onto the hands. Tuck the toes on the left foot. Send the right leg back. Just putting any movement into that knee, into that leg. Just getting any kinks and clicks out. And then coming back, downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale. As you exhale, step the left foot forward, finding our low lunge again. So dropping down onto the right knee. Again, just taking that right knee back as far as is comfortable. Maybe it needs to shift in here if the hips and the hamstrings are tight. Remembering to stack the left knee over the left ankle onto the fingertips. Keep the chest lifted. Breathe into this right hip flexor. Take 1 more breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, bring that left hand in to the front, inside of the left foot. Reach back with the right hand, catch hold of that right foot, just gently working into this right quad. If you can't reach the foot, then just bringing it up into the body still till you can feel that stretch. Take 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release that right hand. Step the left foot back, downward dog. Take a breath, inhale, exhale. Inhale the left foot up to prepare for pigeon, and then exhale, bring it forward. Bring that left heel into the body as much as you need to. Again, maybe taking a cushion or a pillow under that left hip if it doesn't reach the floor, and then making your way down onto the forearms. If this pose is fairly accessible, then maybe taking the forehead down towards the ground as well, and just really resting here. If it's not, then just staying here on the forearms and trying to relax and release into the jaw and the shoulders. Just take 1 more breath here. And then coming back onto the hands. Tuck the toes, send that left leg back again, taking this movement. And then downward dog, 1 breath. Inhale. As you exhale, deep bend in the knees. We're going to slowly walk the feet in. We're going to take the right foot in front of the left, crossing the left foot behind the right, taking a forward fold here with those legs crossed. So we're just deepening that stretch into the left hamstring very slightly. Inhale. Exhale. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Just swapping those feet round now. So step the left foot out, right foot comes back. And folding down again. So feeling a bit more of a stretch in this right hamstring and this right glute. Trying to relax the upper body. So try not to let any tension come back into the upper body. This might feel quite uncomfortable, but just trying to use the breath. Take 1 more breath. And deep bend into the knees. Make your way back to your tabletop position. Grab your strap and then make your way down onto your back. So start off just with the left leg straight down. toes flexed. You're going to catch your strap around the bottom of your right foot. And this, just gently walking the hands down towards the foot. You're going to take the right hand to the strap and just gently guide the leg in towards the body a little bit more. If it's really painful on this hamstring, you can soften this right knee if you need to. And then just using the hands just to walk them a little bit further on this strap, trying to deepen this stretch. Make sure this left hip is pressed down into the floor. As we're lifting the right, we don't want to feel the left hip rising. As it maybe eases off a little bit here, maybe just guiding a little bit further. Take one more breath. And then we're just going to start to gently take that right foot down towards the floor. So coming out on an angle, so really deep opening into this hip now. Keeping the left foot exactly where it is. Keeping the strap in the right hand and just gently guiding it open until you get to that point where that left glute and that left hip starts to rise, and then stopping there. You might find as we stay here for a couple of breaths, then the pose eases a little bit and it gets a little bit looser. You might find that that right foot travels down towards the floor a little bit more. As soon as you start to feel that left hip rising, then stop. So take one more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, slowly coming back through center. Excuse me. And then taking the right leg down this time, catching the strap around the bottom of the left foot, and then doing the same again. So right toes flex up towards the ceiling, right hip is down. Just gradually start to walk the hands in towards that foot, and then start to guide that knee into the chest. Remember, if you need to bend that knee slightly just to release off that hamstring, that's fine. And then find that point, maybe taking the hand onto the right hip just to check it's still grounded. And then start to guide that knee in towards the chest. As it eases a bit, maybe just guiding it a little bit more. Staying here, one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Then start to guide that left leg out. Remember, keep that right hip down on the floor. As soon as you start to feel it lift, then just stopping and pausing in that point. If not, then just letting it come down, noticing that it might be completely different on this side. So this foot might get a lot closer to the floor. This hip might feel a lot looser. It might not. That's fine too. And then as you stay here, noticing that your foot and that the hip might open slightly more, just letting it, just using this hand just for a little bit of support and guidance. And then take one more breath. And then coming back to center, losing this strap, bringing the knees into the chest, just hugging them, and then rocking backwards and forwards until we rock up into seated position. So just taking a seated pigeon here. Start off by bending the right knee up into the chest. We're going to pick this left foot up, cross the left ankle over the right knee, and then just shift. So you want the heel as close to the butt as you can. Really keep this left foot active. So this is really stretching into the left glutes, into the left hamstring. Again, as we sit here, you might find that it eases a bit, so you can deepen that pose a little bit. So maybe the ankle and the shin is up towards the chest. If it's not and we're here, then that's absolutely fine. Just try and keep that chest lifted. So try not to hunch down, so keep that chest lifted. Maybe rocking from side to side. Sometimes it feels good just to kind of get into those niggly areas. So sometimes it's nice to just have a wiggle here and just try and find that point of stretch. And then release, switching it over. So picking that right leg up this time. Again, noticing that this side might feel completely different. Might not be as accessible for you on this side. Or it might be deeper And then again, any movement that feels good, trying to guide that ankle, that foot in to the body. So this is really stretching off into that hamstring and that glute. If it does feel a little bit uncomfortable, then trying to stick with it. So using that breath just to try and find a little bit of comfort in this discomfort. Taking one more breath. And then releasing, just coming into your Sukhasana, so into a comfortable seated position. Maybe just taking one leg in front of the other, taking the knees down towards the floor. Then just closing the eyes off here, placing the hands on the knees. And just coming to the breath, connecting with the breath. Just softening here. So sitting up nice and tall. So just knowing you can stay here for as long as you want or as long as you need. Just breathing into any areas that feel tight or that feel tense. When you're ready, just bring your hands together at heart center, palms pressed together. Just bow your head and just thank yourself for taking that time out for yourself and practicing with no ego and no judgment to your body. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through that. I hope you found that helpful. I hope it eased a little bit of tension in the body. As always, please leave me a comment below if you enjoyed it or if you have any feedback. And I hope to see you again here really soon. Thank you. Namaste.